When the United States entered World War II, the Pacific Fleet desperately needed a new class of destroyer. What followed was a massive building program and a radical new design that changed how naval warfare was done. These ships would go on to become the backbone of the U.S. Navy, playing a key role in winning the war. So what made them so special? Why did the Fletcher-class destroyer become the deadliest ship of World War II? Let's find out. In the desperate early months of the Pacific War, American destroyers had to fight a two-front battle. During the day, they had to defend against Japanese submarine attacks while also trying to scout and engage enemy surface ships. At night, they had to deal with enemy bombers and torpedoes launched from the darkness. Older American destroyers struggled to handle both threats at once because their main guns were only built for surface battles. By the time the first Fletchers were completed in late 1942, American tactics had changed, but these ships were perfectly designed for the harsh conditions of the Pacific War. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. These ships came into service with a new type of 5-inch 38 caliber gun, a dual-purpose weapon that could easily switch between attacking surface targets and defending against aircraft. These guns gave crews unmatched versatility, letting them destroy surface ships, fire star shells to light up the night, and shoot high into the sky at enemy planes with elevations of up to 85 degrees. A skilled Fletcher gun crew could fire between 15 and 22 rounds per minute per gun, each shell weighing 55 pounds and traveling at a speed of 2,500 feet per second. This gave the guns enough strength to seriously damage even heavy cruisers during running battles. Earlier destroyers had to rely heavily on lookouts and outdated optical rangefinders, which left them vulnerable. But the Fletcher-class destroyers were the first in the U.S. Navy to be designed from the start with radar as a key part of their equipment, rather than an afterthought added later during the war. Their SG surface search radar could detect ships up to 15 to 20 miles away, depending on weather and sea conditions. This was a massive improvement over older ships and gave Fletcher-class destroyers a scouting ability that used to only belong to larger cruisers. It allowed them to aim and fire accurately in complete darkness, heavy rain, and against fast, low-flying planes. Battles in the Pacific could quickly turn into chaotic dogfights between enemy ships and aircraft, and earlier U.S. destroyers lacked the firepower to deal with both. The Fletchers solved this problem by being the first U.S. destroyers designed to carry several 40mm Bofors mounts right from the beginning. The usual setup was 5 twin 40mm mounts, making 10 barrels in total, creating a powerful wall of mid-range anti-aircraft fire that was far more effective than anything seen before on a destroyer. Each 40mm gun could fire about 120 rounds per minute, and this overwhelming firepower proved crucial in defending against attacking aircraft, especially kamikaze planes in the final years of the war. As battles grew more intense, many Fletcher-class destroyers were upgraded even further, carrying 4 twin mounts and 2 quad mounts for a total of 14 barrels, creating a terrifying amount of defensive firepower. Even with layers of defenses, a destroyer was still a small and vulnerable ship. A single torpedo or well-aimed bomb could cause devastating damage, triggering fires, flooding, and chain reactions that could sink the ship in minutes. Early war disasters like the tragic loss of the USS Sims highlighted how older destroyer designs lacked effective damage control, a flaw that often led to ships being lost too quickly. The Fletcher class was the first destroyer design to fully prioritize survivability as a key principle. Its hull was divided into numerous watertight compartments, and crucial machinery like turbines and generators were placed in separate, redundant sections. This meant a Fletcher could take heavy damage and still remain operational. These ships also carried modern firefighting systems as standard equipment, including CO2 setups and foam sprayers, which gave crews a better chance of controlling fires before they spread. Many Fletcher-class destroyers managed to limp back home for repairs after being hit by damage that would have easily sunk older ships. Another revolutionary part of the Fletcher class was the Mark 37 fire control system. which was standard on every ship instead of being an experimental or optional feature. This advanced analog computer worked directly with rangefinders, constantly calculating lead angles and shell paths with impressive accuracy. It removed much of the guesswork from naval combat, allowing gunners to hit fast-moving aircraft and even low-flying torpedo bombers attempting to sneak in close. This system also allowed destroyers to target enemy ships at night from distances greater than 10,000 yards, giving them a deadly advantage. The full combination of 5-inch guns, advanced radar, and the Mark 37 Director turned the Fletcher into one of the world's first true system ships, where all parts worked together as one coordinated fighting machine. World War II was a race of constant technological improvement, and even the most advanced destroyer could quickly become outdated if it wasn't designed with the future in mind. The team that created the Fletcher class anticipated this and built flexibility into the design. They didn't just leave extra space. They made sure there was enough reserve displacement, extra electrical power, and open deck areas for future upgrades. This made it much easier to add more 40mm Bofors guns or 20mm Oerlikons as the kamikaze threat became more serious without making the ship dangerously top-heavy. After the war, these destroyers could also be upgraded with new radar technology, sonar systems, and other anti-submarine weapons as the Cold War era emerged. This level of planning and innovation was unheard of in the U.S. Navy, but it was the secret behind the incredible success of the Fletcher-class destroyers. After years of intense battles in some of the most brutal naval campaigns in history, the Fletcher-class destroyers earned a reputation not just for their power, but also for their lasting value. Unlike many ships that were quickly scrapped after the war, many Fletchers were kept in service, being converted into radar picket ships, anti-submarine escorts, or minesweepers. They served for years during the Cold War, proving themselves versatile in an entirely new kind of global conflict. The Fletcher class was more than just a destroyer. It was a design so solid that it bridged two eras of naval warfare, earning a lasting legacy as one of the most successful warship classes ever built. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.